In this session, we discuss about the concept of biological databases, the usage of biological databases, how data is arranged in biological different types of biological databases, what is the functionality of each database, each type of database, who is the owner of these type of databases, how they are being controlled and accessed, and how different classifications of information are being uploaded into these biological databases, what are the applications of biological databases. So all these things we are going to see under this topic called biological databases. So a biological database is why we need for biology, why we go for the uploading and maintenance of biological database is that biology has turned out to be a data rich science. So every moment a lot of data are produced in the area of biology, related to biology. So there is a requirement for managing such large data set, and whose size is growing tremendously every moment. So a biological database is just like any other database. Is a collection of data that is organized in a relative or in a particular manner, so that its contents can easily be accessed. It can be managed and updated. Different types of data can be uploaded into these biological databases. You can have DNA sequences, RNA sequences, protein sequences, not protein, not these sequences alone, their structural information, uh, images, 3D, 2D images, the results, the images produced by certain wet lab experiments, X-ray crystallography, macromolecular NMR, etc. So a lot of data are associated with biological databases. So management of this data itself is a difficult task. Why we go for databases? The answer is that we need to store and organize and analyze such a vast amount of biological data, such a vast type of different type of data, different method of storage. So considering all these things, biological database is a very important concept in bioinformatics. There are two important functions associated with the biological database. So we have a particular type of information. Say for example, suppose you have several sequences, several images associated with the breast cancer. So you may require a database for breast cancer alone, where you can find out the sequences, DNA, RNA, protein sequences associated with breast cancer, different types of breast cancers, the images associated with this disease. So and publications, lot of publications may also happen in this area. So all these things are to be stored at one place, so that if a person is interested in breast cancer, he or she can directly go to this database and access the concerned data, and even upload the data too. So that is one of the important concept behind biological database. So make biological data available to the scientist. Now another concept is that to make biological data available in computer readable form. Since all the analyzing techniques are based on computer algorithms, the data must be available in a particular type of computer readable data. Either the data can be stored as a flat file, or data can be stored in databases which are relative databases, or even you can have different classifications of databases, object oriented databases. So these are all different types of databases. So anyway, you want to make the data available, biological data available in computer readable form, rather than having a hard copy with you. Is a digital image, having all this digital information in a computer readable form is very important. That is why that is one of the method for maintaining biological databases. So when we talk about the different data domains associated with biological database, there also we can see that there are a lot of classifications of wide classifications of data domains associated with biological databases. There can be databases associated with the DNA, RNA, or there can be databases associated with the protein sequences. Not protein sequences alone, the protein structure also. Then you can have different complete genomes and maps. Different biological pathways can be stored in databases. Different gene expressions can be stored. Genetic variations, that is polymorphisms, can be stored. Lot of different types of data domains are available for database creation. When the first sequence of protein was developed, actually there was people never thought about storing it in a database, because it was not necessary at all, because the data that time was very tiny or very small. But when the Human Genome Project arrived, it actually brought a lot of data into the area of biology. It unveiled lot of data, so there comes a necessity for storing all this data. So initially it was stored in CD-ROMs, and then people started thinking that this will not be enough. So databases were started emerging into the area of bioinformatics. There are several classifications of databases. Either if you are storing sequences, you call it as sequence databases. So it can be either DNA or microRNA or protein sequences can be stored, or you can have a second classification as structure databases, where you store 3D or 2D structures of these combinations. So that is one classification. Then another classification is primary, secondary, and composite databases. So primary database, actually it has only basic information of sequences or structures alone. Say for example, it has access to the public. Public can also add information into these such primary databases. Majority of them are publicly accessed, publicly available for accessing. So if a new sequence is derived after a wet lab experiment, and if it is found genuine, so that sequence can be uploaded into any one of these primary databases. But secondary databases are derived information from the primary database. Once a sequence has been uploaded into the primary database, maybe that is been verified by an agency, and if found correct, maybe it goes through some wet lab experiments and other sort of validation technique, and if it is found correct, then it will be added into it will be inserted into a secondary database. So secondary database finds to be more genuine than a primary database, but it is not commonly such databases is not open common to public for uploading data. But majority of these databases are all free, and anybody can download information from such databases. So this that is a second classification of databases, secondary. And the third classification is composite database, which combines a variety of different primary database sources and secondary database sources. So from data from multiple resources are combined and stored in a single database. So, for example, NCBI, National Center for Biotechnology Information, hosts nucleotide and protein databases in the high available redundant array of computer servers, and provides free access to the various persons involved in research. So this also has a link to online Mendelian inheritance in man, OMIM database, and other databases. So that is the composite database. Now, a primary data, what is the difference between primary and secondary database is that primary database contains only sequence or structure information, whereas secondary database data is derived from the analysis or treatment of the primary data, and it is very important for interfering protein function. So primary and secondary databases have lot of differences. Now we see some examples for different classifications of databases. Here we can see one example, GenBank. GenBank is one of the fastest growing repository of nucleotide sequences. So GenBank is the short form of Genetic Sequence Data Bank. It has a flat file structure. It is in ASCII text file format. It is readable by both human users and ordinary users and computers. So it has other than the sequence data, that is RNA, DNA sequences stored, it has files containing information about accession numbers and gene names, phylogenetic classifications, and references to published literature. So GenBank that is a database that is being developed by National Center for Bioinformatics, NCBI. And it is actually an open access sequence database. It is actually it coordinates with individual laboratories and other sequence databases like EMPL and DDBJ. EMPL is European Microbiology Laboratory, and the DDBJ is DNA Data Bank of Japan. So these are all some primary data. GenBank is a primary database. EMPL is European Microbiology Laboratory. Is a comprehensive database of both DNA and RNA sequences. EMBL nucleotide sequence database is actually collected from scientific literature, published literature work, patient offices, and is directly submitted by researchers. So EMBL has been prepared in collaboration with the GenBank and DDBJ, DNA database of Japan. EMBL was established in 1980 and it is maintained by EBI, European Bioinformatics Institute. Another database is CISPROT. CISPROT is actually curated protein sequence database, and it offers a high level integration with other databases and also has a very low level of redundancy. So it was established in 1986 and it is been maintained by Medical Biochemistry of the University of Geneva and EMBL Data Library. Similarly, CISPROT has a lot of information, and the total amount of information stored in not CISPROT alone, in all these databases are increasing every day. So PIR is another database. PIR is actually full form of PIR is Protein Information Resource. So as the name suggests, it has information associated with the proteins. So it is also a public bioinformatic resource where it is also an integrated database which supports genomic and proteomic research and scientific studies. So many classifications of PIR are also available. Primary, as we have seen just now, primary databases have sequences of either nucleic acid or protein. And some examples we can see over here for DNA database. For nucleic acid databases, examples are EMPL, GenBank, DDBJ. And for protein databases, some basic, important famous protein databases are Sysprot, Trembl, and PIR. Secondary databases or sometimes it is known as pattern databases. They contain result of analysis taken from the primary database, and only the accepted sequences can be added to secondary databases. Accepted and tested and verified information would only be added to secondary databases. So secondary database examples includes ProCite, PFAM, blocks, prints, etc. Coming to composite databases, they combine different sources of primary databases, and it makes querying and searching and other database operations very efficient. We need not go to the primary database every time. Instead, you can depend upon this composite database for a particular purpose. Say example of composite database include an NRDB, non-redundant database, OWL, etc. There are also other composite databases available. So as far as we see this concept, international database collaboration. So when we talk about international database collaboration, we have to think about these three data collaborations: GenBank, DDBJ, and EMPL. So these three databases have collaborated from 1982. So these three are interconnected also, and each database collects and processes new sequences, data, and relevant biological information from scientists in their own particular region. Say for example, EMBL collects data from Europe, GenBank from USA, etc. So this database will be every day it will be updated, and the information will be updated to GenBank, from GenBank to DDBJ and EMBL, and vice versa also. So every 24 hours these data are updated in other databases also, other two databases also. So as a result, we can see that any time if you look at the sequences or look at the entries, it is almost the same in GenBank or DDBJ or EMPL. Same sequences you can see, or same data you can see after it will be updated every 24 hours. So this is very international database collaboration. The concept is very important when we look at the concept of databases. And if you need accurate and up-to-date information, you must search an up-to-date database. So you must see how every database, if you look into it, you must see how often they are updated, the data is being updated. So here we can see some home pages from some databases. This is an example of the home page of GenBank. So there is menu for giving a search entry. So the record structure. So if you want to give search in such databases, maybe you have to have some idea regarding the record structure maintained by each type of data bank, or how an entry looks like in each data bank. Say for example, if you look at GenBank data bank, database. And if you look at the entry of record in a GenBank, you can see that there is a field like a locus, identification, accession number of every data, then version number, some keywords associated to that data, etc. There are a lot of fields in a particular record structure in every database, and this the content of every structure or every entry may different from one database to another database. Not the content also, along with the content, the format of each data may also be slightly different. So the accession number will maybe it is a 10-digit value in GenBank. Maybe the accession number can be different in another data bank. So and also maybe the sequence is represented in a different format. In one data bank it will be in the format of FASTA. Maybe in another case it will be slightly different. So if you are looking at to a particular data bank very closely, you can derive all this information, how the data is being stored and what is the structure of each data field in these particular databases. So these are all some examples of some such home screen and other structures in the data banks.